Netflix's The Crown gave the world an unprecedented peek behind the curtains of the British royal family. With stunning accuracy in costume and setting, it feels like a documentary, but it's not. The series is brilliant drama, blending historical fact with heavy doses of creative fiction. For every dramatic moment that actually happened, like a major crisis or political showdown, there's a quiet conversation or a private conflict that was entirely made up for the screen. Today, we separate the truth from the fantasy. We dive into the most compelling storylines of The Crown and reveal what truly happened to Queen Elizabeth II. The most compelling parts of The Crown often revolve around the relationships within the palace. First, let's talk about Prince Philip. The show frequently portrays him as cold, competitive, and resentful of the Queen's power. While Philip did struggle initially with his supporting role, especially having to give up his naval career, the extent of his resentment is often exaggerated. In reality, their marriage was incredibly strong and built on deep mutual respect. Philip was not the disloyal, restless husband the series sometimes depicts. Next, Princess Margaret's romantic fama. The show highlights the tragedy of her forbidden love with group captain Peter Townsend. This is mostly true. The church and the government did indeed pressure Margaret to choose between her title and her love. However, the emotional toll and the specifics of the Queen's personal involvement were likely amplified to create high drama. The Crown excels at depicting political crises, but sometimes misses the nuances of the Queen's true power. Take the storyline involving the long-serving Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Their working relationship was often shown as almost father-daughter, filled with affection and mutual respect. This is largely accurate. The Queen deeply respected him, and Churchill was instrumental in guiding her through the early years of her reign. However, the series tends to over-dramatize the Queen's involvement in selecting and influencing prime ministers. For example, the intense drama over the appointment of Harold Macmillan's successor was far more about advice from privy councillors than it was about the Queen orchestrating a decision in private. The Queen's role is almost entirely constitutional. She reigns but does not rule. Finally, let's look at a few storylines that were mostly based on creative license. One key example is the Burrell Break-In scandal, where the show suggests the Queen broke into her own private secretary's house. This never happened. While there was internal tension and a power struggle in the palace at the time, the Queen herself was never suspected of such an extreme action. Another point of exaggeration is the Queen's personal wealth. While the royal family is very wealthy, the Crown sometimes simplifies the difference between their personal wealth and the assets they hold in trust for the nation, like the Crown estate. The fundamental truth is this: The Crown is a masterclass in historical fiction. It successfully humanizes a very remote and private family. But always remember, the real life of Queen Elizabeth II was arguably just as fascinating without the need for Netflix's dramatic enhancements. Whether it's fact or fiction, the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II and the enduring mystery of the monarchy will always captivate us. What was the biggest shocker for you? Prince Philip's fictional resentment or the truth about the Queen's political power? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the real stories behind the royal family.